Not long ago, I made a video talking about why I love oval racing. Within said video, I briefly touched upon strategy and mentioned that I might make a longer video explaining why it gets confusing at times. So here that video is. It's going to be a similar format to my video on qualifying, so if you enjoyed that, buckle in because today we're going to be having a look at why IndyCar strategy is confusing. It's important for me to go through a quick summary of IndyCar rules regarding pit stops. Similar to F1 and F2 etc, IndyCar has two different tyre compounds, primary black and alternate red. The alternate firestones are the softer of the two compounds, allowing for more grip but much more tyre wear, which plays a pretty important role in road and street races. Both compounds must be used within a race, so we usually see drivers attempting to get rid of the reds as quickly as possible at the start of the race. This isn't a factor within oval racing since drivers can only use primary tyres. IndyCar does have a wet tyre compound as well, for track races only, since a wet oval race would probably be over in about 5 seconds. Unlike F1 for instance, refueling is still around in IndyCar. This throws another spanner in the works regarding strategy, since stints depend on how much fuel is left in the car. This generates problems too if a caution comes out, since some drivers may not make it back to the pits in time. A very recent example of where this ruined a few drivers' races was the 2021 Indy 500, where Scott Dixon and a couple other drivers couldn't get their cars fired back up in the pits due to an insufficient amount of fuel. So fuel is extremely important and often influences how drivers approach a stint. Street and road races typically range from 1 to 3 stoppers, all dependent on weather, track, etc. As mentioned previously, each stint relies on fuel and tyres, making it crucial for teams to get it right. There is an element of risk and reward, since pitting earlier than your rival could provide a good undercut, however you will have less fuel towards the end of the stint. Furthermore, it is worth pointing out that tyre warmers don't exist in IndyCar, so outlaps are typically slower than the in-lap due to tyre warm-up. Therefore, pretty often the overcut is also worth attempting, but you kinda gotta balance it out a little bit. This is similar with oval racing, however it does take a lap to get up to speed around an oval too, making the overcut potentially more viable, but as I said, it all depends. Pit stops are much slower in IndyCar than F1, making strategies with fewer stops typically favourable to those with more stops. With that being said, sometimes this isn't the case. I suppose strategy in general is a bit if but maybe, since there are so many intricate factors which can influence it, such as a caution. Now don't even get me started on cautions. Of all the things that make IndyCar strategy confusing, this is numero uno. If a driver crashes and a full course yellow comes out, the pit lane typically becomes a frenzy. During a road/street race, drivers typically want to pit before a caution comes out, since all the cars yet to pit will normally box during the caution period, when the pit lane opens. This means that drivers can genuinely get lucky just by pitting sooner and sometimes even inherit the lead. Yellow periods shake up the race so dramatically it's just hard to explain. This is the other way round on an oval, since pitting under green conditions drops you a lap down, so pitting during a caution is definitely the way to go. This raises an argument regarding the pit lane under caution and whether or not pitting should be banned during this period. I mentioned this in the first episode of my short podcast that I released on Monday, and will probably make an entire video on it at some point. Although honestly, my video ideas list is getting a bit uncontrollably large, so gotta strip it back a bit for now, since I physically do not have time to make them all. Anyway, to summarise, IndyCar strategy gets very confusing and can shake up races dramatically, but I've tried to explain it the best I can. Let me know if there are any videos that you guys want to see within the next few weeks, always open to suggestions. If you enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel, and if you do so, I will see you all in the next video. But until then, take care and thank you very much for watching.